Well, we're doing more of this garage here, and right here is where inside the door I used to do a lot of projects on my bench here. It was kind of my outfeed table for my saw. And anyhow, I've been doing some wiring and redoing the lights here, and doing all the sheetrock and that kind of stuff, trying to fix it. And when I was doing the lights here, I noticed when I got in here there was only 2 wires coming out of this box right here, and I left it that way because I knew I was going to be tearing this apart. But now that I'm tearing this apart, I'm getting into this, and this is one of those things you just don't do. You need to have the grounds. Grounds are important, first of all. And the wires were actually up here, so it had been stripped, and here's the ground right here, and it looks to me like it's kind of corroded, so I don't know if it's you know, something to do with because they didn't hook it up, or if they were just using some old wire and it didn't have a good enough ground. I don't know what happened. But anyhow, to fix this, I'm just going to move the box up, because I don't want to, I mean, this is all done. I mean, it's not done, the sheetrock, but all the way to there, it was already done, sort of. It was all nailed, so I'm screwing it, and there was only like 10 nails in each board. But besides that, I don't want to have to tear it all down. So I'm going to move the box up here, and I might have to graft a piece onto this to lengthen it so I can get it into the box. But that is going to be my fix. This is one of those things, yet again, make sure your power's off. If you do something I do and you hurt yourself, I'm not responsible, and if you don't like the way I'm doing it, don't do it. But I'm just going to take this box, move it up here. Should have enough wire to put the box up here, so it'll be a little weird and further up, but a whole lot easier than trying to run a whole new wire into here. So alright, I took some Scotch-Brite and shined that back up, and crimped a piece on there, so I got a longer ground wire. Luckily it's the ground wire, because it doesn't really affect anything that much, as far as this isn't carrying any power, I guess, so it makes it a little safer, I guess. But I also did make it so it's just long enough so that this will stick in the box, and there won't be any of this outside the box. This should be in the box. Something else I noticed was when I kind of went to pull on this to see if there was any slack in it, there's no staple, and they're supposed to be within boxes and plugs and all that. Staple, just something like that, in there, and that's just to make sure that somebody doesn't yank this out of the box or yank something loose here. So when you do that, you just want it just enough to hold it, but not enough to crush it. So you don't want it to be able to move up and down too much, or very little anyway, and that way when somebody messes with this, it doesn't pull on it. So that is something within, I think it's 6 to 12 inches or something, I don't know. I usually kind of do this kind of thing or this kind of thing depending on what I have for room. But that gives me plenty of wire now. I'll be able to put my switch back in there. I might as well do this with the video on the switch here. And I'm going to have to go get a tool. I got everything I need now, and some of you eagle-eyed viewers might notice that I have a different box here, because I want this as low as I can get it, so it's more in the normal position, but without the sheathing popping out of the box. So when I went to pop off the old box, it kind of was already starting to break up here, so I just ended up finishing it off and breaking it. So I got a new box here. Hook a light switch up here, and that's on, that's off. And I noticed when I took it off, the black one was on the top towards the on, white one was on the bottom, and there was no ground whatsoever. So there was my first issue I was having. So first thing we're going to do, on is up, so that's going to go, no, okay, there we go. On is on the bottom actually, and off is right there, so I should know that. Anyway, so we're going to put that on there, so we need to get that and twist it, and that just goes to the green screw. It's usually a green screw, unless you're like me using older stuff. Sometimes it's a black screw, but usually it's a green screw, at least in the United States anyway. I have noticed I actually have some viewers from some other places. And I'm going to go ahead and tighten that down. As I always say, get it good and snug. I mean, you don't want to strip it, but you can give that some pretty good heck, and there's not too many problems. You can hear the rain outside. We're having a massive storm right now. And I'm going to go ahead and cut and strip these. And somewhere in there. And you want to give yourself plenty of room, good, I don't know, inch or so. Now I usually cut it with the one down, and then I go to the next one up and pop it off. Now it's going to depend on the size of your wires, obviously. That's what they got the numbers here for, so you know what size to strip it to. Take it, bend it. Oop, get that out of my way. Take it, bend it, and like I said, the black was actually on this one here, so it was actually on the bottom. So we're gonna put that on there. Hopefully you can see this. Now, if it's backwards, I'll have to switch these around. Quite honestly, I don't know if it matters. I haven't ever actually had one not work right, so I don't know if I'm getting lucky or if it really just doesn't matter. And yet again, good and snug. And the white one goes on the top according to what I had before. I did too much now. But it'll be alright. And I poked myself with something here. That's, I don't know, if you never watch any of my other wiring, these right here, that's kind of what that's for. You can grab a hold of them and squeeze the wires together like that. You want to get them around there completely and snug, because if you leave any of this stuff loose, hopefully you can see it. Leave any of this loose, that's when, like if I was to leave that like that, it could start arcing back and forth between the screw head and the wires, and you definitely don't want that. That's what causes fire. So good and snug. I've reefed on these pretty good, never stripped them. I usually use a flat edge screwdriver, mainly because that's what my dad always used, and it does keep you from grabbing so tight. You know, once you get to a certain point, it kind of lets loose. Then I'll stick that in the box. And then you don't need to watch me put those screws in. We'll get it on and hopefully flip the switch and see some light. Alright, and I flipped the switch and the light didn't come on, so that means at least the off is in the right position. Let's flip the switch and see what happens. Ta-da! Let there be light. So there is what not to do and how to do it. There, if you have the same issue I did and somebody left you a little bit short, if you're going to be doing some sheetrock work anyways, you can rip the box out of there, move it up a little bit. You know, that even works if all the wires would have been really short. One more fix down, several hundred more to go. Every time I seem to do anything with electrical, it kind of scares me a little bit because I know I'm going to find something. Well, if y'all like this one, please rate, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to try and start remembering to do that on these videos. I don't get anything from YouTube or any payment for anything I do here, so the only payment I get is for you guys subscribing and thumbs upping me, so go ahead and do that. If you really want to give me a thumbs down and you didn't like it, go ahead and do that as well. I just appreciate you leaving a comment of why you didn't like this video. So, this is Sam, Jack of all, Master of none. You all have a good one.